In the aftermath of humanity's crushing defeat, a hidden fleet stirs in the void, waiting to rewrite destiny. Captain Mara Solis, scarred yet resolute, rallies survivors on Novaterra's frontier. As a cold, tyrannical alien empire tightens its grip, a rebellious spark ignites, heralding a defiant quest to reclaim Earth's honor and shatter the silence of despair. In the dim, cold reaches of space, where the cosmos whispered secrets of bygone eras, humanity's past defeat lingered like a ghost. In the shadow of a derelict outpost, aboard a vessel long abandoned, faded holograms flickered across cracked glass panels, each pulse a fragile echo of a lost world. Here, the chronicles of Earth's downfall were etched into every surface, a somber reminder that once, the human race had been humbled by an alien empire whose ruthlessness spared none. As the holograms danced in the darkness, images of fiery battles and desperate retreats filled the room. The star maps, now marred by time, still detailed the routes of a fleet that was believed to be nothing more than myth. They whispered of a final, secret hope, a last stand engineered in the embers of defeat. This fleet, hidden in the vast, uncharted corridors of the universe, was the final testament to humanity's will to survive, a secret locked away like a treasured relic. The outpost, nestled on the edge of a forgotten nebula, bore the scars of a time when despair had almost become a permanent resident among the stars. Rusted control panels and scattered logs hinted at hurried evacuations and the frantic rush to abandon a dream that had once been so vibrant. Yet amid the ruin, there was an undeniable reverence for what had been lost, a recognition that every fallen soldier, every shattered starship, and every whisper of resistance was part of a larger narrative of defiance. In the silence of that cold, abandoned chamber, the past seemed to speak. It recounted the tale of Earth's ancient glory, of cities that once reached for the heavens, and of a brave fleet that had been assembled in the final hours of desperation. Even as the alien conquerors paraded their dominance across the stars, the human spirit, though battered, had not been entirely extinguished. Instead, it had retreated into the deepest corners of history, waiting for the moment when it could rise again. This chapter of echoes and memories set the stage for a resurgence, a promise that the story of humanity was far from over. The relics of defeat, laden with both sorrow and a quiet determination, served as the seed from which a new legacy would sprout. The silent outpost, with its ancient technologies and fading lights, was a silent witness to a future yet unwritten, a future where hope would find its way through the darkness, and where a secret fleet lay dormant, ready to reclaim its rightful place among the stars. On the rugged frontier of Novaterra, the dawn crept over vast, uncharted landscapes with a silent promise of renewal. The planet's surface, a mosaic of scarred rock formations and rolling dunes, bore the weight of untold histories and whispered legends of rebirth. As the twin suns edged over the horizon, their light revealed both the stark beauty and the hidden scars of a world that had long been forgotten, a world that now stirred with the first breath of hope. At the heart of a bustling, makeshift colony built around the remnants of an ancient outpost, Captain Mara Solis surveyed the awakening day. Her eyes, reflecting both determination and the tempered weariness of a seasoned warrior, roved over the gathered crowd of survivors, engineers, and rebels. They were an eclectic assembly bound by a shared resolve to reclaim a destiny lost to the void of time. The colony, perched precariously at the edge of civilization, was alive with fervent energy, a cauldron of whispered strategies and cautious optimism. In the communal command center, a room lit by the glow of holographic star maps and weathered control panels, Mara stood before a rough-hewn table. Maps of distant galaxies, marked with cryptic symbols and faded routes, were spread out like the blueprint of a long-forgotten plan. Her hands, steady despite the weight of the past, traced the outline of a celestial pathway that hinted at the existence of the secret fleet. This hidden armada, shrouded in myth and obscured by time, was the last hope of a people once vanquished. It was a chance to rekindle the fire of Earth's indomitable spirit. Outside, the wind carried the scent of mineral-rich dust and the murmur of shifting dunes, as if nature itself whispered encouragement. The colony's makeshift structures, built from salvaged materials and reinforced with the grit of survival, echoed with the murmurs of anticipation and the quiet hum of machinery being readied for the challenges ahead. Among the crowd, weary faces softened into cautious smiles at the prospect of something greater than mere survival, a future where the lost honor of their home world might be reclaimed. Amid the clamor of activity in the symphony of renewed hope, Captain Solis found a moment of solitude. Standing at a rusted viewport that overlooked the sprawling horizon, she allowed herself a brief respite. The early light revealed the beauty of a landscape reborn, vast, untamed, and full of latent promise. In that fleeting moment, the burden of past defeats seemed to lift, replaced by the powerful conviction that every ending could herald a new beginning. The secret fleet, whispered about in legends and hidden in the dark recesses of space, beckoned like a beacon, its promise igniting the spark of resistance within every soul present. Nova Terra was awakening, not merely as a place on a map, but as a symbol of resilience and defiance. In the interplay of light and shadow, in the rustling of ancient sands, in the determined cadence of human hearts, the planet bore witness to a burgeoning renaissance. It was here, amidst the shifting dunes and beneath the watchful gaze of twin suns, that the seeds of reclamation were sown, setting the stage for the epic journey that lay ahead. The quiet hum of Nova Terra's command center was shattered by the restless murmur of voices, a cacophony of hope, fear, and skepticism. In cramped quarters lined with patched-up screens and scattered maps, factions of survivors huddled together, debating the meaning of the encrypted signal. Amid the chatter, Captain Mara Solis stood firm, her gaze steely as she absorbed every word and glance exchanged in the room. "This isn't just another ghost from the past," she declared, her voice resonating over the din. "It's a beacon, a call to all of us who still believe in reclaiming what was lost." Her words sparked a fire in the hearts of the assembly, even as doubts and old wounds whispered among the corners. In one shadowed alcove, veteran pilot Joran muttered, "We've been down this road before, only to be left with empty promises and scars." His tone, laden with the weight of memory, was met with a counter of resolute optimism from Commander Alina, whose steady eyes shone with determination. "It's time to unite," she insisted, emphasizing the possibility of a future where divisions no longer held sway. The exchange underscored the palpable tension in the room. Every plan was a gamble, and every word carried the gravity of lives already lost. Outside, the wind over the dunes seemed to echo their debates, a natural chorus urging them onward despite the looming uncertainties. Across the room, hidden in the flickering shadows of outdated technology, a series of intercepted communications began to paint a more ominous picture. In the alien cadence of cold efficiency, the messages hinted at an impending maneuver orchestrated by Admiral Vorlax, a name that stirred both dread and defiance among those who recalled the brutal fall of Earth. As the murmurs grew into a chorus of anxious whispers, Captain Solis's eyes narrowed in determination. With a measured calm, she ordered, "Prepare every channel. We must be ready for what comes. Let's show them that the human spirit isn't so easily extinguished." In that charged moment, the room transformed into a war room, a crucible where shattered pasts and hopeful futures melded into a single, resolute stand against the gathering storm. Under a sky dusted with the remnants of stardust and memories, Captain Mara Solis embarked on her audacious mission to reunite a legacy scattered across the cosmos. In the dim light of the early hours, her flagship, the stalwart Aurora's Promise, pierced the darkness as it journeyed toward forgotten space stations and derelict shipyards, each a silent vault of Earth's bygone glory. The corridors of space hummed with the soft echoes of ancient engines, and Mara's mind pulsed with both hope and the heavy burden of history. Every stop on their odyssey revealed a fragment of a grand puzzle. At a long-forgotten orbital depot, Mara encountered a crew of rugged scavengers who had, against all odds, maintained an operational relic of a once mighty battleship. The vessel, scarred by the passage of time and cosmic conflict, exuded a quiet dignity. With careful hands and measured words, Mara negotiated alliances, rekindling a spark of unity where despair had once reigned. In hushed tones around flickering control panels, veteran technicians recounted tales of valiant battles and heart-wrenching retreats, their voices laced with both sorrow and steely resolve. Each story stitched together a tapestry of collective memory that promised a resurgence. Navigating through abandoned shipyards cloaked in cosmic silence, the crew of the Aurora's Promise unearthed remnants of cutting-edge technology buried under layers of dust and neglect. Old blueprints and encrypted logs revealed strategic rendezvous points, guiding them toward clusters of dormant vessels waiting in the cold void. As the fleet slowly gathered, the silence of space was broken by the hum of reactivated engines and the sound of long-dormant circuits sparking back to life. In the metallic chorus of restoration, each ship's revival resonated like a heartbeat in the dark, collectively awakening a spirit that had been stilled for far too long. Mara's leadership was both firm and tender. She moved among the newly reassembled crews, her presence a blend of warrior and guardian. In moments of shared laughter over meals spiced with memories and hope, and in the quiet hours spent poring over star maps and schematics, her resolve crystallized. Every handshake, every nod of determined acknowledgement, forged bonds that transcended old rivalries and rival factions. The unity that began to shimmer in the dim light of recovery promised that these vessels, though battered by time and conflict, would soon rise as a formidable armada poised to reclaim a shattered destiny. As the fleet coalesced into a formidable formation against the sprawling canvas of space, a profound sense of purpose filled every vessel. Each reactivated ship was more than mere metal and circuitry. It was a vessel carrying the hopes, dreams, and relentless spirit of a people determined to reclaim their future. In the silent expanse between distant stars, where darkness reigned supreme, the gathering fleet stood as a beacon of renewed resilience. Here, amidst echoes of the past and the promise of a revitalized future, humanity was preparing to challenge the cosmos itself, one ship, one soul, and one unyielding will at a time. In the boundless void of space, where the silence is punctuated only by the distant hum of dying stars, the first tangible echoes of conflict began to stir. The reassembled human fleet, a mosaic of hope and relics, found itself drawn into skirmishes that would test both resolve and conviction. Amid the backdrop of shimmering nebulae and swirling cosmic debris, the forces of humanity clashed with the disciplined precision of Admiral Vorlax's emissaries, a cold, unyielding armada that embodied the alien doctrine of order and control. On the bridge of the Aurora's Promise, Captain Mara Solis watched the unfolding confrontation with steely determination. In the panoramic view of space, sharp streaks of laser fire crisscrossed the darkness, illuminating the stark contrast between the vibrant, unpredictable maneuvers of her crew and the relentless, calculated attacks of the alien vanguard. "Hold your positions," Mara commanded, her voice a blend of authority and unwavering hope. "Every move we make is a stand for everything we believe in." Across the void, aboard the flagship of Admiral Vorlax, a cold deliberation took shape. The Admiral's posture was rigid, his eyes fixated on the glowing coordinates of the human fleet. In the clinical cadence of his orders, he dictated the alien strategy with precision: intercept, disable, and neutralize any sign of rebellion. His belief was that emotion and spontaneity were liabilities, traits that, in his view, rendered humanity a chaotic element in the cosmic order. As his fleet advanced, the calculated rhythm of their formation contrasted sharply with the improvised, heartfelt tactics of the human defenders. The ensuing skirmish was as much a battle of philosophies as it was one of firepower. In the midst of the chaos, Mara's communications channels crackled with impassioned dialogue. Lieutenant Wren, a young but fiercely dedicated officer, reported, "Captain, they're using a pincer maneuver. Our left flank is under heavy fire." His voice, tinged with urgency and resolve, reverberated through the bridge, melding with the steady reassurance of seasoned voices on Mara's side. "We adapt," Mara replied succinctly, her words carrying the weight of countless unspoken memories. "This isn't just about survival. This is our declaration that the human spirit defies cold logic." On the other side of the cosmic battlefield, intercepted transmissions from the alien fleet echoed a starkly different philosophy. The clipped, emotionless communication revealed the precision of Vorlax's strategy. Each word seemed calculated to strip away any semblance of passion from the equation, leaving behind a doctrine of relentless efficiency. Yet, even as the aliens executed their maneuvers, there was an undercurrent of something deeper, perhaps an unrecognized respect for the tenacity of their human adversaries. As the battle raged on, individual moments of confrontation arose amidst the larger chaos. In the debris-strewn corridor of space, a daring human pilot engaged in a dogfight with an alien fighter. Their exchange was a silent ballet of evasive twists and daring bursts of energy, a fleeting but powerful testament to the stark difference in ideals. The pilot's nimble maneuvers, fueled by instinct and a fierce belief in freedom, clashed with the alien's programmed precision, each move a metaphor for the battle between chaotic passion and calculated order. In the heart of the conflict, Captain Mara Solis and Admiral Vorlax remained separated by vast distances, yet their divergent ideologies met in every volley of energy and every whispered command over the comm channels. For Mara, each decision was steeped in the legacy of human resilience, a legacy forged in the crucible of past defeats and fueled by the enduring hope for redemption. For Vorlax, each order was a manifestation of an unyielding doctrine, that in the vast, cold expanse of the universe, only the meticulously calculated and the utterly disciplined could claim dominion. As the chapter drew to a close, the battlefield itself became a stage upon which the clash of ideals was writ large. The human fleet, though battered by the relentless onslaught, surged forward with an audacious spirit, challenging the alien certainty with every burst of light from their weapons. and in the silent spaces between explosions, the universe bore witness to a war that was not merely about reclaiming a lost fleet, but about the enduring struggle between the chaotic heart of humanity and the cold calculus of an empire built on order. Deep in the cosmic silence, as Mara's fleet steadied its course for an inevitable confrontation, an eerie chill gripped the void, a harbinger of the dark strategy unfolding in the enemy's command. Aboard Admiral Vorlax's flagship, corridors of polished metal and harsh, white lights echoed with the calculated precision of orders. Here, Vorlax stood at the helm of a war machine, his gaze fixed on a vast, holographic map that pulsed with enemy positions. Every detail was meticulously accounted for, every risk calculated, as he orchestrated a trap designed to shatter the fragile resolve of the human resistance. In a secluded chamber aboard the alien vessel, Vorlax initiated a series of complex maneuvers. His voice, cool and devoid of sentiment, delivered commands that rippled through the ranks of his fleet like a masterful chess player's moves. Deploy the shroud. Isolate the flagship. Let their unity crumble beneath the weight of precision. His words, resonating with unyielding certainty, bore into the silent corridors of space. For Vorlax, every action was a step towards enforcing a cosmic order where chaos was expunged by systematic control, a stark contrast to the unpredictable, fiery spirit of humanity. Meanwhile, aboard the Aurora's Promise, Captain Mara Solis sensed the shift in the enemy's tactics. Her instincts, honed by years of battle and forged in the crucible of previous defeats, prickled with the cold awareness of an unseen threat. The fleet's sensors relayed an unusual pattern, a subtle, coordinated disruption in the formation of Vorlax's vanguard. As her officers scrambled to decipher the signal, Mara's mind raced through possibilities, each more ominous than the last. "They're setting a trap," she murmured, her tone a blend of caution and defiant determination. "Steady your course. Let's be ready for the unseen edge of their strategy." As the two forces edged closer in the vast emptiness, the void between them became charged with a palpable tension. The alien trap was not one of brute force, but of silent subterfuge, a shadow that crept across the battlefield, threatening to divide and conquer. Mara's crew worked feverishly, recalibrating their sensors and reassigning positions to counter the impending ambush. In quiet briefings, anxious faces met steely resolve, and whispered words of encouragement passed between officers who knew that every decision in these moments might tip the balance between salvation and annihilation. High above the chaos, the confrontation between two divergent philosophies played out in silence. Admiral Vorlax, with his unerring belief in calculated perfection, prepared to exploit every weakness he perceived in the human formation. His trap was set to isolate key elements of Mara's fleet, creating pockets of vulnerability where the cold logic of alien strategy could overwhelm the passionate unpredictability of human resilience. In a final act of defiant resolve, Mara's voice cut through the tension of the bridge, a promise laced with both challenge and hope. "We may be outnumbered in their design, but our unity is our strength. Let them try to break us." As the chapter closed, the two adversaries, one a master of strategic precision and the other a beacon of rebellious spirit, readied themselves for the inevitable clash. In that silent, star-strewn expanse, every heartbeat of the human fleet echoed with the promise of resistance, while the cold, measured pulse of the alien armada foretold an onslaught crafted in the shadow of Vorlax's ruthless ambition. The stage was set, the pieces in place, and the cosmos itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the impending storm. In the vast expanse where light and shadow converged, the battlefield ignited with a fury that shook the cosmos. The calm before the storm was shattered as the human fleet, now a shimmering tapestry of reawakened determination, surged into the fray. The silence of space erupted into a symphony of roaring engines, the crackle of energy shields, and the staccato rhythm of laser fire, a chaotic chorus heralding the dawn of redemption. Captain Mara Solis stood at the helm of the Aurora's Promise, her eyes fixed on the rapidly shifting horizon. Every command she issued resonated like a battle hymn, uniting her crew in a common cause. "Hold steady, and let our hearts guide us," she bellowed over the cacophony, her voice unwavering amid the explosive tumult. Her words carried the weight of countless lives, transforming fear into a powerful resolve that pulsed through every corridor of her vessel. Across the void, the alien armada executed Vorlax's intricate strategy with relentless precision. Their ships moved like well-oiled instruments, their movements a cold ballet of calculated destruction. Yet, the human spirit, imperfect, fervent, and untamed, was not so easily subdued. Swirling around battered hulls and shattered debris, human fighters darted with audacity, weaving through enemy fire like sparks of hope amid an onslaught of despair. In the midst of the chaos, a pivotal duel unfolded. Mara's trusted lieutenant, Ren, piloted his nimble fighter into a deadly dance with a sleek, alien interceptor. Their craft twirled in an intricate ballet of evasion and assault, leaving trails of luminescent vapor as they clashed. Each maneuver was a testament to the grit of humanity, a defiant refusal to bow before the cold, calculated might of their foes. In the cockpit, Ren's eyes shone with fierce determination, every decision a silent vow to honor the sacrifices of those who had come before him. Simultaneously, on the bridge of the Aurora's Promise, Mara faced her own inner tumult. The holographic battle map flickered with signals of falling comrades and emerging threats. Yet, in that moment of overwhelming pressure, she drew strength from memories of Earth's legacy, a legacy built not on the ashes of defeat, but on the courage to rise again. "We fight not just for survival, but for the future we dare to imagine," she declared, her words rippling through the ship and rekindling the embers of hope. Explosions blossomed like transient stars across the battlefield. The alien forces, though methodical and formidable, found themselves staggered by the indomitable human counterattacks. In a daring maneuver born of desperation and brilliance, Mara ordered a concentrated strike on the enemy's command vessel. The Aurora's Promise led a united front of battered ships, their trajectories converging like threads in a tapestry of retribution. Energy beams sliced through the darkness, each impact a resonant beat in the saga of redemption. Amid the relentless barrage, quiet moments of intimacy surfaced. As the fleet navigated the turbulent chaos, brief, poignant exchanges crackled over the comm channels. Stories of sacrifice, hope, and the promise of a reborn future interwove with tactical orders, infusing the battle with a humanity that no enemy could extinguish. Every crew member, from the seasoned veterans to the rookie pilots, felt the collective heartbeat of a people determined to reclaim their destiny. In the heart of that raging storm, as stars flared and the void trembled with the weight of clashing ideals, the battle for redemption reached its zenith. It was not merely a confrontation of fleets, but a war of wills, a struggle to transform despair into a force that could illuminate even the darkest corners of space. And as the resounding echoes of battle continued to roll through the cosmos, every spark of resistance, every defiant roar, became the promise of a future where humanity's indomitable spirit would once again shine among the stars. In the chaos of the celestial melee, when hope teetered on the edge of despair, an unforeseen maneuver shifted the balance of power. The human fleet, battered yet unbroken, rallied under a renewed surge of defiant energy. In the vast emptiness of space, a strategy born of instinct and collective resolve took shape, a brilliant counterstrike that would turn the tide of battle. Captain Mara Solis, standing resolute on the bridge of the Aurora's Promise, watched as her officers relayed critical updates. "We're repositioning for a flank attack," came the urgent voice of her tactical officer. Every sensor reading and every burst of energy from the enemy was meticulously logged and analyzed. In that moment, amidst swirling debris and erratic laser fire, Mara's unwavering determination coalesced into a daring plan. Her voice, firm yet laced with a spark of hope, filled the command center. "All units, converge on Sector Delta 4. Let them feel the full force of our will." As the fleet executed the maneuver, the enemy's meticulously arranged formation began to falter. The alien armada, so accustomed to cold precision and calculated order, was caught off guard by the unexpected shift. Swarms of human fighters, led by seasoned pilots and driven by an unquenchable thirst for redemption, swooped in from the flanks. In a stunning display of agility and courage, they exploited gaps in the enemy line with coordinated strikes. The turning tide was not just measured in tactical advantage, it was felt in the hearts of every crew member. On the deck of a repurposed cruiser, a young pilot named Elian maneuvered his craft with a graceful audacity, darting through the void as he dodged plasma bolts and counterattacks. His eyes burned with a mix of adrenaline and hope, each evasive twist and daring burst of acceleration a defiant shout against the oppressive order of the alien forces. Back on the bridge of the Aurora's Promise, Mara observed the unfolding chaos with a blend of relief and cautious optimism. The enemy's response was frenetic, their once calm precision disintegrating under the unexpected human onslaught. Admiral Vorlax's strategies, once so impenetrable, now seemed to crumble like brittle glass. In the intercom's static-laced transmissions, voices of alien officers carried hints of disarray, a stark contrast to the regimented commands from moments earlier. As the tide of battle swung in favor of the humans, a palpable unity enveloped the fleet. The earlier divisions and scars of past defeats merged into a collective resolve. Each pilot, each officer, became an integral part of the resurgence, a living testament to the power of human spirit against overwhelming odds. The light of determination shone brightly against the backdrop of a dark and uncertain cosmos, each burst of laser fire and each evasive maneuver symbolizing a refusal to surrender. In this new rhythm of combat, the human fleet was more than a mere assembly of vessels. It was a living embodiment of resilience, rebirth, and the unyielding force of hope. The turning tide had not only disrupted the enemy's formations but had also rekindled the belief that victory was within reach. With every successful strike, every enemy vessel forced into retreat, the future of humanity glimmered brighter, an echo of redemption reverberating across the stars. The battle's crescendo faded into an eerie silence as the dust of shattered starships settled into the void. In the aftermath of a hard-won victory, the human fleet drifted amid a field of debris and scars, each fragment a solemn reminder of the cost of defiance. Captain Mara Solis stood on the bridge of the Aurora's Promise, her gaze lingering on the remnants of the alien armada slowly retreating into the darkness. Amid the bittersweet quiet, every fallen vessel and every lost comrade etched the high price of victory deep into the hearts of those who remained. On the medical bay, where the wounded lay cradled by fading starlight and tender care, grief mingled with relief. The soft murmur of medics and whispered prayers echoed down sterile corridors. Lieutenant Wren, still buzzing from the adrenaline of battle, now faced the haunting reality of loss. His eyes, red with fatigue and sorrow, met the quiet gaze of an injured friend, each glance a silent testament to the sacrifices made in the name of redemption. In these quiet moments, the fleet's triumph felt heavy with regret, the valor of survival tempered by memories of comrades who would never return. Across the command center, crew members gathered around holo-displays that relayed final battle reports and personal tributes. Old scars, both visible and hidden, were reopened in conversations that spanned the spectrum of pain and pride. The sharp tang of antiseptic mingled with the bittersweet aroma of victory, as if the very air carried the weight of sacrifice. Captain Solis, with her steady voice softened by the burden of command, addressed her weary crew. Today, we have reclaimed more than territory. We have reclaimed our honor. But let us not forget the price we paid. Each loss is a promise to honor those who fell, to forge ahead with their memory as our guiding star. In the stillness that followed her words, every soul aboard the fleet contemplated the delicate balance between triumph and tragedy. The vast, cold expanses of space seemed to echo with the whispered lament of lives extinguished, yet also with the resilient heartbeat of those determined to carry the legacy forward. The glow of distant nebulae painted the damaged hulls with hues of hope and melancholy, as if the cosmos itself mourned the fallen while celebrating the spark of rebirth. Within that poignant tapestry of emotions, the crew began the slow process of rebuilding, not only their vessels but the bonds of trust and unity that had been tested by war. Memorials were erected in quiet corners of the flagship, each a small sanctuary where grief and gratitude intertwined. The somber toll of loss lent every decision a weight of significance, urging them to strive for a future where such sacrifice might one day be honored with lasting peace. As the fleet prepared to navigate the uncertain paths ahead, the price of victory was etched into their very souls. In every scar, in every silent vigil held for a fallen hero, lay the enduring reminder that freedom demanded its due. The cost was immeasurable, yet in its painful measure was found the strength to rebuild, to remember, and to press onward into a dawn promised by hope and tempered by sacrifice. As the last embers of conflict faded into the silent tapestry of space, a gentle radiance began to unfurl, a promise of rebirth in the aftermath of devastation. The battered yet unbowed human fleet now drifted into a calm that belied the recent maelstrom. Captain Mara Solis stood upon the observation deck of the Aurora's Promise, her eyes fixed on the horizon where distant stars, like scattered jewels, heralded a future yet to be written. The scars of war, etched deep into the hulls of their reclaimed vessels, shone as marks of honor and resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to challenge fate. Across the fleet, survivors gathered on Nova Terra, their faces lit by the soft glow of twilight and the even gentler luminescence of hope. In newly constructed memorial gardens and improvised gathering halls, whispered remembrances mingled with tentative laughter. Old wounds began to knit together, as the shared grief of sacrifice was slowly transmuted into a steadfast resolve to rebuild not merely their ships, but the very essence of a once-forgotten legacy. Every conversation, every gentle smile, resonated with the understanding that from the depths of despair, a new era was emerging, one crafted by the collective will to honor the past while embracing the promise of tomorrow. Captain Solis, now more a symbol than a mere commander, addressed the assembled crowd beneath the expansive vault of an alien sky. "Today we stand not at the end, but at the threshold of a new beginning," she proclaimed, her voice echoing with both solemn reverence and spirited conviction. "Our victory has been paid for in loss and sacrifice, yet it is our unity and hope that will guide us forward into a future where we rebuild, reclaim, and redefine what it means to be human." Her words, buoyed by the gentle murmur of agreement from every corner of the crowd, kindled a flame that promised to burn away the shadows of past defeats. The rebuilding was not merely physical, it was an act of reclaiming identity. Across Nova Terra and the surrounding colonies, communities began to flourish anew. Tattered banners were replaced with symbols of renewal, and the once silent corridors of abandoned outposts echoed again with the sounds of life and labor. Engineers and artisans collaborated with veterans and scholars, blending ancient technologies with fresh innovations. In every reconstructed bridge and refurbished engine room, there was an unspoken vow to honor the legacy of the fallen by forging a future where every voice could be heard, every dream nurtured. As night fell and the twin moons rose over Nova Terra, a sense of quiet wonder pervaded the air, a reminder that even in the cold vastness of space, hope could kindle light. In that serene twilight, as the fleet set a course toward the stars, every soul aboard carried within them a renewed spirit of defiance against despair. The universe, once a theater of relentless conflict, now whispered of infinite possibilities, of worlds waiting to be explored and legends waiting to be born. With hearts mended by courage and eyes alight with determination, humanity embarked on this journey into a new dawn, a dawn that promised to transform the echoes of defeat into the vibrant harmonies of tomorrow.